Okay, so I'm trying to think ahead today and solve a problem that I had with the Bronco, which is the door situation. So I was in a smaller garage then, and I had a problem. Every time you're trying to do something, you got to move these doors around. Once you pull them off, storage is kind of an issue. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to have a pretty decent sized garage here. It's a 30 by 30, so there's good space, but I've got a lawnmower, the Bronco, the Jeep, all the stuff I'm pulling off of it. So what happens is you run into this problem where your doors continually get in the way. And it was 2 doors on the Bronco. It's going to be 4 doors on the Jeep. So it's going to, it's a compound problem here that I'm going to try to solve. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to build a dolly for these doors. So I've got these 2 doors off here, and I was thinking, how am I going to build this? So I went down to Harbor Freight and I picked up these 2 1,000-pound furniture dollies. I'm going to use those as the base. I've got some different wheels I'm going to put on there so I can lock it. I've got these locking wheels that I'm going to throw in there so I can knock it down in place. But then my carpentry skills are not the greatest. And so what I figured I would do is I was at Lowe's and I saw these stair runners. And I looked at those and I was like, man, those look perfectly spaced to hold 4 doors. Then I'm going to build some uprights with these 2x4s to kind of keep them from tipping forward to back. So what should happen is I should be able to screw those to the dollies, put the new wheels on, then build some uprights, and should theoretically have a functioning cart that can get doors out of the way when I need to move all 4 of them. And then it'll be great for when I'm trying to take them out and do some body work on them. I might build a top platform on there so I can pull the door out, set it on top platform, and do some body work or work on the internals. So that'll be the project for today. It's nasty and raining outside, although it's letting up a little bit. So let's go ahead and get started on that. So the thought process here is I want 1 locking wheel on this side, 1 locking wheel on that side, so I can kind of lock it into place and keep it from spinning into place. So, and you see I'm just eyeballing this, right? Doesn't need to be exactly precise. I just need it to hold 4 doors and not roll away on me. So I'm trying to do a little bit of overhang so I can put some handles on it. But other than that, on this, close is going to be fine. So that's the base. So now I'll go ahead and start. I'm gonna pull those 2 doors over, put them in place, and then I'll start cutting the 2x4s to make uprights to keep the doors from tipping forward and back. Probably put some handles on either end to the mobility of the cart. But yeah, not too bad. Pretty happy with that. Okay, now, the height of those doors is about 43 inches, and so I'm going to want to have the handles sticking up beyond the 43 inches of the door. So I'm going to go probably 48 or 50 inches up from here, and I'll just kind of get my 2x4 staked in. You saw I put these 2 marks here and here, just kind of rough eyeballing where I want them to go. Obviously, I'm going to line them up side to side because you don't want them putting the door off kilter. But there's going to be a catch post here and a high catch post here that the door is going to slot into. Now I'm going to wrap these with foam, so I need to give myself a little bit of space. So I need to add, I don't know, we'll call it a 1/2 inch on either side for spacing for the foam. Then we're going to wrap that in, so that way as we're doing body work on these, taking them in and out, we're not going to accidentally hit one of these 2x4s that's going to be in there and mess up the body work we've already done. So let me get everything set up to measure and cut these 2x4s, and then we'll come back as I'm cutting and putting them on. Okay, so let's do some quick measurements. So we've got, that's looking like about 10.5 inches there. And so with that door being 43, you want a little stick over, round it up, let's go 60 inches, I think, would be enough. And then that's gonna give us, oh man, that's there. That's pretty obnoxious. I don't think I want to do that. What I think I want to do instead is maybe just enough to cover the door's body. So let me see what that measurement is real quick. So that's about 24 inches. So we'll go 24 inches up from there. Will give me 34, right about there, 34 inches. So I'm gonna have to figure out another handle option. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 34 inches here, and then, you know, maybe just something in the 16-inch range back here just to catch the back of that door. And then I'll figure out a handle to put on the end here that's not gonna interfere with the door. Maybe it'll be detachable. Maybe it'll be one of those swing handles. I think they sell a swing handle for this. So I might be going back to Harbor Freight and getting a little swing handle to attach on the end there, one you can lay down out of the way when you're trying to pull the door out. So let me go ahead and do this. Measurements on the 2x4s, cut and get those in place. And then we'll go from there. Good. All right, I think that's going to work. Like I said, that should butt up against the body of the door and keep that in place. So, I'm looking at my marks right here. Like I said, I'm going to add a little bit just to compensate for some foam and give it a little bit of wiggle room in there. And then that should let me slot my other doors in here as well. And then use this as the backrest for those. All right, cool. All right, let's get one of these locked in place, and then we'll go from there. Door on there, see what happens. So, as you can see, I might knock a little bit of the top of this one off. It's hitting into this wood grain, so I might just come in and zip that off a little bit. But now I figure out where I need to put this. So we can slot this door in place. I'm not gonna go too terribly high with this. I might just go right about there. Like I said, I don't really want to have to lift these up and over a ton. So I do not know where I put my pencil. There it is. Pretty please don't fall. Oh, yeah. So we'll come in here. Right about there. And then thinking right above this body line probably makes sense. That's a little rigidity right there. So we can go right above that body line. And that should be pretty good. All right, let's get that door in there and get that second one in. Cool. Cool. All right, well, there's that. So, looks like we get it in there. Like I said, I might knock these down a little bit to help that lean forward, but you know, with it leaned back, it's on that body line, so that's good and solid. And then now we'll keep it from tipping into the other doors. Now I just gotta slot the other ones in there. So what I'll do now is build the other front side for the door over here. And then I'll have to pull one of those doors and build the middle out. So let me do that and then we'll swing back. Okay, so I think I'm gonna redesign this on the fly. So I've got both of the front doors on there now. And you see I've got this one leaning against this and this one leaning against these down here. And so I think that's a good fit. I think I'm just gonna have to get comfortable with, you're gonna have to take two doors off to get one, right? Like, I don't think I could snake this one out of there without taking this one off. I mean, they're not touching each other. They're in there good and tight. I mean, it's right. I can move this around and they're not gonna go anywhere. We're gonna foam these up, right? So there'll be a little bit more padding in there as they flop around and you know, flop around is the wrong word, but it's gonna kind of lock them in, keep them from flopping around. Redesign. So as I'm looking at this door, I'm looking at how to make the platform kind of work, and so I'm looking at where to catch in here, and we're gonna repaint this, and so it's gonna, you know, get stripped down and primed and everything like that. And I don't really know if I want anything rust on there. We're gonna put foam, but I want the brunt of it to be taken down here along the bottom edge, because I mean, if I, you know, scuff the primer on that and it you know, creates a gouge, I'm not too worried. Nobody should really be crawling under here checking the lower door edge paint quality. Obviously I'm not looking, you know, you want to do your best with it, but also, you know, let's be honest, nobody should be really coming up under there and looking at what's going on there. So with that said, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take and just run a 2x4 and take this point all the way across, and then the weight of that door can rest here, and hopefully then I won't need a catch. It should hopefully not be so heavy on this end that it would tip the door over. Maybe it could just rest all the weight right there and hold itself up, and then I'll put a something on the other edge to hold it up and in place. But that's the redesign now, so I'm gonna measure that, put that in place across here, and then pull the door and then fit it out and see if I've made a huge mistake. We shall see. So let's get over here. I think I measured, this is 26.5 inches. Let me go back over here. Yeah, so 26.5 inches is what we're gonna do. Actually, let me double check that, because I've walked around since I've measured that and my memory is spotty at best. So we're gonna go outside edge to outside edge. Yeah, 26.5. Okay, so 26.5 is what we're gonna do there. Let me transfer it over to this. Okay, so 26.5. Do a quick cut of that bad boy. Oof. All right. Well, as confident as I am in my skills, let me see if I can put this GoPro down over here and try not to lose a finger while I'm doing this. Let's go see how that measurement worked out. Close enough. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that in there, and then I'm gonna have the door kind of brace off of that. All right, well, it is day 2 of building this door dolly. It's stretching to day 2 because I had to run to Harbor Freight last night. Today is new tool day. So I realized as I was going to pull those rear doors off that I did not have the right set of Torx bits. So I had to go pick up these new Torx to see if I can get some to work. Oh, I've got some hex drives as well. So hopefully I was able to get the right driver that I need out of this couple sets, and we'll be able to get those rear doors off. As I was complaining about why they would use hex drivers, and just as I was complaining to my wife, and she's like, well, why would they use it? And so I looked it up online, and apparently the logical reason they would use this is you can exert more torque on the head of the bolt without damaging the bolt or the tool than you can on a traditional head of a screw. So I guess that's a logical reason. Still means I had to buy new tools, which is kind of a bummer, but hopefully we'll be prepared. I got the whole set, so hopefully we'll be able to get through the rest of this project without having to buy anything else. So let's go ahead and hop into getting those rear doors off, and then we'll continue building this dolly and see if we can get this thing fully functional today. So looking at what we're going to need to do as we come over here. Like I said, we got this kind of torn down. The panel's out of the way, door handle off. That's the window switch that was in the door. So we'll go ahead and get that unhooked. There's a couple of, so you got the door lock motor here and the window motor here. We'll undo those, come through, pull out the conduit here, just another couple screws, and then get these Torx heads out of the way. We'll probably have to pull this new weather stripping off just so we don't damage it filling it. Yeah, let's go ahead and get everything set up to do that. Looks like it's a T40. Breaker bar. All right, well, looks like I was wrong about that Torx bit. So I just snapped it off in the bolt.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go? Nope.
Well, that does not make me happy. Huh. Yeah, that's completely useless now. Yeah, as you can see, it looks like it twisted it too. So here's the tool broken off in the bolt head there, and so that then twisted this and made it unusable. So guess I was wrong about those Torx heads. That is not great. Okay, so well, I guess that means I'm gonna have to pivot and take these Phillips head screws out. Hopefully I can access those. There's those 3 down there, and those 3 right there. What I may do, let me see if I can see on the inside where those come in at. There's a way to get in there and see. No, the window's down. Well, there's that one right there. So I don't know if we can see. Let me see if I can turn this light off. Get some of that backlight out of there. So it looks like there's a plate in there where those Phillips heads come through, and you can see the adjustability. You see how those, kind of those 3 holes are much larger than where the screws coming through. So that's, again, going to give you that adjustability on that door to kind of wiggle it around and get it to close properly. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to score the door there, mark it where that's coming through at. I'll tell you what's going to be a nightmare is trying to get to that. Yeah, man, I may just have to go buy another Torx head, although I don't know how I'm going to get that out of there. That's going to be problematic. So, man. Well, I guess we're going back to Harbor Freight. So on that other set I had a 1/2 inch T40. Got out my breaker bar on the 1/2 inch drive, and I'm gonna see if this is gonna do anything different for me. Might be drilling out 2 of these. So let's see if this has any better results. Yep, there we go. I busted that one loose. one loose. And sheared the head off that one.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Any teeth left to grab onto in there? Nope. Nope, that is completely ruined. Well, I take back everything good I said about Torx heads. Whoever designed these is a moron. So, now that I have one broken off and one rounded out, I gotta figure out what the plan is here. I'm starting to think if I need to pull these doors or not. The intent was to pull the doors so we could get in here and do all the cut in for when we were gonna change the paint color. But I'm wondering if I can just leave them. I mean, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna come in here and try to get these, but I don't know if I got anything with enough juice to bust those loose. If they're as tight as these, we might be out of luck, and we might be leaving some doors on here. So, well, let me try to figure it out. Okay, so this is the biggest screwdriver that I have. Normally, I'm used to having these have a almost like a bolt here at the end, so you could put a wrench over the end of it and get some torque on it, so you can provide inward pressure here and use that as a handle. This does not have that, so I'm gonna see if I got enough strength in my forearms to get these busted loose. I'm gonna bet that I don't, just judging how tight those other ones were. Yeah, no, those aren't going anywhere. Yeah, nope. Okay. Well, looks like the doors are staying on, at least for now. So, now what to do? Man, that's a real kick in the pills. I was hoping to get that door off. Well, I know it was a pretty disappointing end to that video. I was hoping to get a little bit more accomplished on that as well. But that's the way this goes sometimes. I'm going to regroup, figure out what I'm going to do with that door. I really still want to pull them off there, just because it'll make painting so much easier. I've painted a couple vehicles now, and the more stuff you can get blown off, the easier it becomes to paint them individually and then assemble them later and get a more consistent paint job. Trying to avoid the overspray, that kind of light dusting in the edges, to where you can tell a vehicle's been painted. And again, this is a home job, right? So I guess I shouldn't worry too much. I'm not, I'm just looking to build it and enjoy it and take it out. But I do enjoy doing things the right way, right? There's just something satisfying about getting something done correctly. So I'm gonna see if I can take that tool back to Harbor Freight and get my money back. Since how it didn't last through one bolt, hopefully they'll swap me out for a new set at least, because I'm gonna need the Torx throughout the rest of this build. So I'm gonna go switch those out, regroup, figure out what I'm gonna do next. Maybe pull those seats, go talk to the upholstery guy, and see about that. So hopefully you enjoyed this one. Like I said, I'm gonna keep making these and document this build, just because I've never documented them before, other than I've got photos of my other couple, but never a video like this. And I know that watching these really helps me out, for all the other people who've made videos, doing their builds. Really helps me out as I'm stuck and trying to figure out a way around something. So as a matter of fact, I'm probably going to go hop on YouTube, see if there's a trick to getting these Torx bits out if they're being super stubborn, and maybe I'll reattack it later. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and we'll keep plugging away on it. Talk to you guys later.